Let me think of something fun to say.
Think of something fun to say. This is not scripted. Murphy said, Paul, how long did it take you to understand her condition? Many people I have in my life have to explain to many times and still don't understand.
I think the basics of it didn't take that long. I think they did a pretty good job of explaining kind of, and I saw firsthand, obviously, as you were going through it, and I had questions and stuff. And so I think the basics of it definitely, I could understand and comprehend as far as, you know, oh, she's high, she needs to get a shot now, before pump and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I think some of the more complex things like A1C and like stuff like that, I didn't really dive into that as things deeply.
Right.
There are still occasional things where you'll jumble off some.
Yeah, some random
stuff.
Like,
you used to say bolus a lot.
Verbiage.
Yeah. Just some of the little, things like adjustments and stuff that I don't really understand, but
feel like you don't have to understand every intricate detail of everything. But did you come to the classes with me too? I can't remember.
I don't think so.
Okay.
So I heard like mom give like, this is what diabetes is, class, because like I feel like for some reason I heard her give her spiel about what it is and stuff like that to other people too, so that was kind of a refresher.
True. Yeah. Next question is from Marianne Mills, and she says, were you ever tested to find out the likelihood of you developing diabetes, which I think is a blood test, and would you recommend people look into that for younger siblings?
I think I did like the basic one. I think there's a more in-depth one where you gotta like take a bunch of blood, right? And then there's the more basic one just to check.
I actually don't know.
Okay.
I just remember going to expos and they had that thing and they were like, check your likelihood, but I don't remember.
I remember that too, and I remember asking like, well, what does this one entail? And they'd be like, well, it is kind of like an IVE where we got to take a bunch of and I'm like, no, I don't want to do
I don't care that much.
I mean, I'll just trust that.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's not going to happen, but yeah, I guess part of me was like, oh, that's a bigger possibility now, so that's kind of like, hope that doesn't happen, but. Oh, hey, dogs.
Got you. Welcome, Ampers! Right on cue!
Would I recommend it? If it's something that is really worrying and stressing you out, and it's something you think about a lot, for sure. I mean, why not? But if it's not something that's, you're so scared about, then kind of depends on the personality.
It really does, yeah. And some people, I think it would worry them more if they knew. Like, what if it came back positive? Like, yeah, you probably will. And no test is perfect, so I feel like it could say you will. And I don't really know how they work, so I'm just speaking off like most tests. It's like it could say one thing, and then it turns out you don't even get it. You know what I mean? So what's the point of that worry? But I don't know about those tests specifically. What about, Deidre McKenna said, did your mother ever test your blood or urine out of suspicion? Like more of like a quick test, like at home, like, oh, you're drinking a lot of water, you're peeing a lot, like let's test real quick because I'm worried type of thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
There's a couple times where she was like, well, do you mind if we just do a finger poke and, just see, and then, okay, good, you're good.
Yeah. We've tested Paul, we've tested Tiffany, we've tested Mom herself.
Yeah, or she tests herself.
Why would it? Actually, my aunt too, and she had sugar in her hands, and it said like 350, and she freaked out, and they were like, what, did you just eat something? She's like, yeah, I had a muffin. Did you wash your hands? No. So then she washed her hands, and she was fine.
Yeah.
So whoever, like, if they're having symptoms, we're like, might as well do a quick poke.
Well, I think that for Mom, she was so used to that initial stage where she didn't know what was going on with you, and so all these signs, when she found out what it was, now she obviously associates that with.
Right.
So anyone else who's like, oh, I have this, are you diabetic maybe? Let's check.
I know, and I go there too, but actually one of my friends, he was having the symptoms, and they were telling me about it, and I was like, it actually really does sound like diabetes, and he went in, and it was diabetes, so sometimes it's true. So, I mean, better safe than sorry, right? Don't worry too much, though.
Yeah.
Next question is, Alyssa Christ said, Paul, what was the biggest positive you've experienced from Danica's diabetes?
This right now.
This moment in time.
This opportunity. So now I gotta think about it. Positive?
The biggest positive.
The biggest positive. Oh.
There's so many.
God, for me? Yeah, for me personally.
Yeah.
I'd say the biggest positive has been being able to see you mature and grow through your hardships, through your struggles, and through learning how to deal with that. And I mean, from what I could tell, even though you're just a couple years younger than me, you really matured a lot through that process and took ownership and a lot of things that I respect, obviously. So I think that would be the biggest positive for me, was just seeing the positive impacts it had on your life, growing. And you know, some people are like, well, maybe I didn't want to grow that fast, but in maturity or whatever else. But I think it was, in the end, a good thing.
Oh, that's so sweet. Thanks.
Yeah.
That's so nice. Okay, last question is from Narusha Kulatunga, I think is how you say it. Paul, what is your biggest piece of advice for siblings of a type 1 diabetic?
Biggest piece of advice, I would say to be supportive, but not to be overbearing, if that makes sense. So I think you could help them, remind them of some small stuff, and especially initially when they're first diagnosed, and help them, you know, make sure they're grabbing some snacks before they go out the door or whatever, but not to be so parental, you know, and be like, oh, have you done this yet? Have you done that? You know, like, it's not your responsibility. But I think in a supportive, sweet way to help out where you can, but not to be too intense about
Crazy.
it.
Seriously. And like, not treat them differently too. I don't know if someone's
that's a
ever
good
do
idea.
this, but I've heard friends sometimes, not my friends, but some friends have treated people differently afterwards, like maybe not inviting them to certain things, something like that. And I think you didn't do that. Like, I still did everything the same as I did before. So treated me the same, but be supportive. I like it.
Sweet.
Anything else you want to add? Actually, if you want to see more of this guy, he has YouTube as well, so go ahead and tell him about it.
Yeah, if you're into gaming and live streams and stuff, I have a YouTube channel that was kind of primarily a Minecraft channel back in the day when Minecraft was super popular, and reached about 2,000, a little over 2,000 subscribers. And then since then, I've kind of changed it more into just a live streaming for fun platform. A lot of Counter-Strike, Battlefield, stuff like that. So if you're into games and you want to check me out, it's fine. Go ahead.
It's fine.
whatever.
I mean, if you want to, it's fine.
It's cool. That's not why I did this. But at the same time,
no, I asked him to do this. So.
Yeah.
But if you want, go subscribe to his channel. He makes really fun videos. He's a really nice person. So.
Oh, stop.
And sometimes. Oh, what? What's your name? What's your username?
YouTube.com/user/boomer4win, the number 4. And yeah, I've been on YouTube longer than you have, actually. So, but she's way better at it, turns out.
It's true.
It's true.
No, there are way more gaming channels
There's so
than
many.
diabetes channels.
Yeah.
So, what were you saying, Hannah?
Oh, I said burn.
Oh, are you gonna say the thing about
Burn!
you sometimes
Yeah,
guests
that's what I was gonna
appear
say
on
next.
the live stream and Ampers does?
And sometimes the perk of subscribing is that every once in a while, for about 20 seconds, I might be in a video live stream walking through with my ampersand friend.
It's true. She comes over to our place all the time.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
I'm in the video for like half a second. But if you're interested. Anyway, I'll leave the link down below so you can click on that and subscribe to him. Check it out at the very least. And I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Don't forget this video a thumbs up if you really did like it. And subscribe. Bye.
Bye.
And finally, the puppies that were being so loud throughout. No, they did okay. But if you ever heard some heavy breathing, it was probably this one over here. This is Coda, Amber's best friend. So they just wanted to say hi. I don't know, they're kind of stars and divas, so they just wanted to be in the video. It's not that big of a deal, it's fine.
You were made for the
Thank
camera.
you.
Best friends.
Okay, that's it. Bye.